Greetings, everybody, and welcome to Knights of the Turntable, episode 47. A very special episode here tonight. I'm your host, Richard Bailey Jr., and I'm joined by Mr. Joe Hova. What's up, Joe? What's going on? We're also waiting for Dom. She should be here at, some point during the show. Mr. Charles Singletary, Profex, cannot make it tonight because he is working. But I'm sure he will have some comments, and he is also watching. So stay tuned for those comments later. But before we get into the main topic that everybody is talking about, we want to talk about what we have been listening to. So, Joe, why don't you tell the listeners what music you've been listening to?
You know what's cool is that I'm gonna be checking my phone while it's charging. I've been listening to that Jay-Z album. Church in These Streets, and I'm shocked that more people aren't talking about it because you figure Jay-Z drops an album, Twitter's gonna have a day with it. I haven't seen many people talking about it on Twitter, which I thought was kind of weird, so I decided to check it out, and it is awesome. Like, the entire project I played it at the gym last night, and it's like TM101 with a more polished sound. So I've been listening to that. I listened to the Bieber album last week. It's pretty good. Yes, I said the Justin Bieber album is pretty good. Also, the Ty Dolla $ign album, the Free TC, that is an amazing project. So if you haven't checked that out yet, Free TC and Jeezy, I would definitely check those out after this podcast.
Sounds good. I also heard a rumor that you guys will be doing a first impression for the Jeezy album, so I look forward to that.
Yes.
Oh no, we're looking forward to that. Yeah, sounds like some great stuff. A lot more updated recent stuff. I unfortunately have not kept up to date. I've been listening to, again, I listen to a lot of the same artists. Been listening to Tyler, the Creator. Went back to Joey Badass, a little bit of Nas, and some Snoop Dogg. Haven't listened to any Kendrick in a while. I figured I would give that a break for a little while because, I think everybody else is a huge Kendrick fan, so I wanted to try to take a step back.
I feel like that project, you have to listen to it in kind of like spans. Like, you can only listen to it for so long before like you kind of get bored of it, and then like you come back to it and remember how good it was. That's
true. That's absolutely true. Great album, but yeah, too much is you got to take some breaks.
Yeah.
And one other thing I will say, I did go back and listen to some of the Game documentary 2 and 2.5. Still trying to figure out what the fans that they claimed it was a phenomenal album. I still don't get it, but some of the music was good, but we'll see. Game delivered. He gave you more than enough music, so hopefully we don't have to get another album from him until maybe 2017 or something like that. We'll see.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. With the way people release music, we're gonna get a new Game project like the beginning of the year.
Oh, well, hey, we'll see. To be determined. All right, so as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, we have really one main topic we wanted to talk about because it is a hot topic right now. Something that everybody has been talking about.
A lot of hot takes on this topic.
Yes, it is, and for good reason. We're, of course, talking about Billboard's controversial list on the 10 greatest rappers of all time. Now, I have the list here in front of me. I'm going to first tell all of you who don't know who was on the list. Also, be sure to list these rappers in the actual post. But let's go down the list, shall we? So, starting from number 1, we have Biggie. Number 2, we have Jay-Z. Number 3, we have Eminem. Number 4, we have Rakim. Number 5, we have Nas. Number 6, Andre 3000. Number 7, Lauryn Hill. Number 8, Ghostface Killah. Number 9, Kendrick Lamar. And number 10, Lil Wayne. So now that we have listed all the rappers or all the people who they claim are the greatest rappers of all time, let's go ahead and let's get one thing clear right now and what the issue is with this particular list. So one thing I will say is that Billboard never gave a reasoning to this list. They pretty much, I think they pretty much just said, these are our favorite rappers, and then that's it. The list is not based on anything outside of that. At least that's what I think. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, like I didn't get a chance to read the actual article, but like the thing that I saw was that like it was just kind of like a screen, like just a block on Twitter, and it had like the 10 artists that you just named off, and that was it. And then I just found the article for it literally like an hour ago, so I haven't had a chance to run through it yet. But with Billboard, it's more, and I feel like this is more of them with like the whole album sales thing, but at the same time, like you have an artist like Rakim on there, who not many people know him for like selling a lot of albums, whereas like a lot of the other ones, like and even Nas for that matter, like Nas hasn't sold like a whole lot of albums like Jay-Z or Wayne or Eminem have, so at the same time, it just kind of feels like there's a big mixture of like why this happened, like why this list was made, but there's no Tupac on there.
Yes. Oh, don't worry. I have quite a bit of words to say about that. Yeah, I mean, so okay, we did establish, there's not really an explanation for the list. Let's go ahead and let's talk about each pick, whether or not it's a pick that makes sense to be on this list. So let's start number one with Biggie. Are we in agreement that Biggie definitely should be on this list?
Biggie should be on this list, but I don't know if he's number one.
So okay, if he's not number one, who would you put above him?
The guy that's below him.
Oh, really? Oh man, such controversy. So okay, let's get this clear. Yeah, Biggie's on the list. I agree, Biggie should be on the list. I mean, this guy is an icon. I mean, one of the pioneers, in my personal opinion. When I grew up, this is the guy I was listening to. So yeah, he definitely should be on the list. Maybe the one that's controversial, but he should be on the list. So let's go to number two, Jay-Z. Now you said Jay-Z should be above Biggie. Is there a reason why? Why? Is it because he has more hits or more music? Well, what's the reasoning?
Before we get into that, I did find the reasoning for their ranking. I just had it.
Okay.
It says, note, we're ranking these folks as MCs, not artists. So this is strictly off of just rapping ability.
Oh well. In that case, I still have a problem with this list. Yes. Well, okay. Biggie is, like I said, Biggie is an icon. I'm glad he is on the list. He should be on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So at number one now. So now that you know this information, do you think that he still deserves to be number two? Jay-Z should be above him, or what?
I still think Jay-Z's number one. Like, I still think that Jay-Z's, and a lot of people are gonna give me flack for this because they're gonna say, "Oh, Jay-Z bit Biggie's rhymes and all the, all that kind of stuff." But what it boils down to is like Jay-Z. If you go back, there's a Jay-Z line for everything in life. Like there's a Simpsons quote for everything, or a Seinfeld episode for everything. There's a Jay-Z lyric for everything that can happen in your life, except for losing 92 bricks, because that never happened.
Yeah, okay, that's true. I no doubt about it. I have respect for Jay-Z, all that he has accomplished in his career. He got his woman Beyonce by his side. I mean, yeah, the guy, and he's also a businessman, so I got respect for him. As I have said on this show several times, though, I don't know what else he can rap about now, because he's not experienced hard times, unless he's gonna talk about the elevator incident with, with Solange. But there's not really anything difficult that he can rap about. But I give him credit. He should be on the list. I don't know if he should be number one. That's a matter of that's a matter of preference. I mean, in the top three, definitely. But speaking of number 3, let's go on to Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree with him at this particular number and that he should be on this list?
I definitely think he's on the list. I definitely think he's top 5. I don't know if he's top 3 though. He might be depending on who's at number 2, but I don't even know who I have at number 2.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, Eminem is, when Eminem first came out, everybody was pretty much everything he put out was fire. He did a couple. I remember he was on that song "Dead Wrong" with Biggie. He did his little verse on there. I very much enjoyed that song because he was on that as well. But having him on this particular list, I don't have a problem with that. I say it's accurate. I mean, I've heard some of the more recent stuff. It's a little, still a little, not really as crazy as it used to be. He's a lot older.
Mm-hmm.
He did a good job on the Compton album, but that album is forgettable now because it had nothing else going on for it after the movie came out, after, that movie dropped. But I have no problem with him being on the list. I'll give him props. So number 4, Rakim. Go ahead.
Rakim's a top 3 MC.
Yes. I would have put him above Eminem, but again, they said based on MCs, I'm pretty, listen, no disrespect to Billboard. I understand now based on MCs, but come on, bro. This is also about preferences because, some of these people on here, I'm like, we'll get to that. But Rakim, I'm glad he's on the list. He has to be on this list without question.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Nas. Yes.
I think that's my top 3: Jay, Rakim, and Nas.
Hey, I'm totally fine with that. Everybody knows I'm a Nas fan. That's probably one of my favorite rappers of all time on this list. There's a couple others that I do like on this list, but not as much as Nas. It's like at the top of the list. So glad he's on the list.
And this is a category too where, like, you look at it, if they're basing it strictly off of MC, and Nas's beat selection doesn't matter here because it's strictly off of the ability to rhyme, and I think that gives Nas an edge in this list because a lot of people wouldn't even put him top 5, if you're ranking artists of all time because of his beat selection.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, I mean, perfect example. You heard his, going back to the Game's album, 2.5, the song he did with the Game. Like I said before, I think that song stood out on the album because the production was just so good. And then Nas came in, delivered. Game did an excellent job too. But it's like that song separated everything else from the album. And there was some good songs on that album, but then there was some skits that was like, nah, I don't know about this. But yeah, I mean, Nas definitely in a class of his own. Glad to see that he got some recognition. So I'm cool with that. Going on to number 6, we have Andre 3000. So what do you think about this?
I don't know. That's the thing. The top 5 of that list, they all deserve to be on there. This is where it gets tricky because, like, there are so many different options for the bottom 5 of this list. And honestly, Andre's cool. I love Outkast. Outkast is one of my favorite groups of all time. Outkast might be my favorite group of all time. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. It's tough. I would say if Andre's on this list, he's coming in at 9 or 10, though.
I mean, yeah, I could see that. I do agree. Outkast, right now I do live in Atlanta, but Outkast, that is one group that I've loved ever since I started listening to them in high school. And I've always wondered whether or not they're going to come together and make another album. Probably not. You never know. But Andre 3000, talented. Every time he has been on, made a guest appearance on other albums for other artists, he has always delivered, without question. So, I mean, if he has to be on this list, yeah, maybe he shouldn't be number 6. But again, there are others that do deserve to be on this list. We will get to that, but we're going to continue with the list first. Okay, number 7, Lauryn Hill.
See, Lauryn Hill's living off of one album, and I don't think that's right. I really don't think that that's right, that Lauryn Hill gets to live off of one album. And you could say the same thing about Biggie. Biggie's living off of basically 2 albums. And but Biggie did a ton of guest features. And I mean, Lauryn has the Fugees and stuff. But I don't know. I just don't think Lauryn Hill deserves to be on this list.
I can agree with that. The thing about it is you are right. There is definitely a perception that it's all about the one album and then the Fugees stuff, because I recall I actually went to a concert a couple of years ago, and I heard Nas was coming into town. I go to the concert. Nas is there. I said, okay, Nas and Lauryn Hill. So I figured that it was Nas's show, but guess what? It wasn't. Nas was there, did his little performance, and that was good. Then Lauryn Hill, it's like that show lasted for about 2 hours.
Good Lord.
But I was like,
it took Lauryn Hill an hour to get there, probably.
Yeah. I was going to say that next. I'm pretty sure she was running late. This happened before she had some legal issues, so I got to see her before she had a few problems. But I mean, I think there is this perception that people want to give her praise because of the work that she's done. She hasn't really done enough to be on this list, as you said, but I guess they just want to give her that respect. But I don't know. There's other people that.
If I would put any female MC on this list, I don't know if it would be Lauryn Hill. I think it would have to be somebody like Lil Kim or Missy.
Yeah. What about MC Lyte?
See, that's the thing. I'm not too familiar with MC Lyte's work. Like, I know MC Lyte is dope from what I have heard, but I haven't heard much of her music, just because, again, I discovered hip hop late. So I'm still going back and listening to artists that I haven't listened to.
I got you. Well, we'll continue to go into other artists we think should be on this list after we get through these final 3. Number 8, Ghostface Killah.
I don't know. I think if any Wu members on there, it's Raekwon.
Yeah. Wait, hold on.
And that's the thing. I love Ghostface. Ghostface is dope in his own right, but I think Raekwon was the most lyrical out of Wu-Tang.
Well, hold on a second. Does Raekwon still deserve to be on that list after that horrible album that he dropped earlier this year?
Yeah, the one I was talking about on Twitter earlier, that I defined as the worst album I've heard this year. Yeah, I still think that he deserves to be on that list. I mean, even though he dropped that album, he's been a focal point of like lyrical hip hop, and I think that Raekwon would be on that list for me over Ghostface.
I find it funny. I find it interesting how he was singled out. Ghostface is singled out. Yeah, you have other members that they are not mentioned that was in Wu-Tang. So that's an interesting decision. But I mean, yeah, I guess he's okay on the list. Again, there are others I think should be on this list, but we'll just say that that's okay for now. Okay, number 9, and this is rather controversial. We have Kendrick Lamar. So
it's too early in his career. Like, look at all the names we just listed. They're all like they've been in the game for since the 90s or at least the early 2000s. I mean, Kendrick's just now starting to become like a household name in hip hop. I think it's way too early for Kendrick on this list.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I am a Kendrick Lamar fan, but let's go ahead and let's just say it right now. "To Pimp a Butterfly," that album was pretty much dedicated to Tupac.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it that this guy is being recognized as the greatest rapper of all time when the guy that he is talking about in that album is not on the list at all?
Yeah,
that makes no kind of sense.
And that's the thing. I don't particularly care for Tupac's music, but I recognize that he needs to be on this list because of his rapping skills.
Agreed. And to stay with that topic very quickly, there was somebody that had a direct response for this, Snoop Dogg, because he posted a response today, and this is his words, quote for quote. When he found out that Tupac wasn't on the list, he said, "This is so disrespectful. Whoever did this list needs a swift kick in the ass." no Tupac. Come on, cuz. Just my opinion. And you know what? I agree with him 100%. Now I know Snoop does a lot of smoking weed, and sometimes he get crazy and just, you don't know what this guy talking about. But this, I agree with him 100% on that. So we can put that to rest. And number 10, one of your favorite rappers of all time.
Your favorite rappers of all time.
Oh no, hey, definitely not. Lil Wayne. That's right.
And this is where I feel like they contradicted themselves on the list, because Wayne lyrically is people say that you can quote Wayne, but Wayne does a lot of that rhyming where he takes a word and bends it to where it matches the lyric, and then he says, "Oops, I mean this." And I don't feel like that's like MCing as much. I don't think that Wayne's very lyrical. I think he makes enjoyable music, and the whole point of this list is for MC skills. I just don't think that Wayne belongs on this list.
Yeah, no, I agree. And let me just say this before I continue. When we say that we don't think they should be on the list, it does not mean we think they are bad artists. It's just it doesn't fit, particularly for this list. When you say somebody is the greatest rapper of all time, that has to carry some weight in more ways than one. So I think we have to clarify, when we say that they shouldn't be on this list, we're not saying they're bad rappers. We're just saying they don't fit that title, at least not in our opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, this isn't about we're not the ones who made those choices. But as for Lil Wayne, I feel like listen, Wayne is he has a charm to him. For some reason, a lot of women like him. Some women that I thought was very attractive, and I thought would just shouldn't belong with this guy, but yet they still, I don't know what it is. He has this mystique about him. So much so that even Baby is after him 24/7. So I don't know what it is, but I give him credit. I do believe he did an excellent job on Tyler the Creator's album, the song with Kanye as well. I think he did a great performance on that song. But outside of that, I really don't know if he belongs on this list per se. I think, again, there are others that belong on this list before some of the people that they have listed.
Like who would you add to this list and take off?
Okay, I think that KRS-One should be on this list.
Okay.
That's like another one of the pioneers from back in the day. Again, look at my gray hair. I ain't that old. I'm just paying respect to those that deserve it. Let's get that clear.
Yo, Rich, if you dab enough, that gray will go away and you'll have like normal color hair. You just gotta act youthful.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's what I'll do. Definitely have him on the list. One other person, even though I haven't listened to too much of his stuff, Cool G Rap. Probably someone else that should be on there, because you're talking about some pioneers. Now, again, I understand they may not be considered the greatest, but if they played a role in hip hop, definitely should be on the list to some degree. Because the rest of these other artists, all the stuff they're doing now, they wouldn't exist without being inspired by other people coming before them to actually get this whole movement started.
And see, that's where I disagree with you, because like, even though it's cool that the pioneers that they started it and stuff, but like, I feel like there are newer artists that are way better than them, like Black Thought. Black Thought should have been on this list.
Oh yeah,
Black Thought doesn't have a bad verse.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. You're absolutely correct.
Malice from Clips. Malice is easily he spit one of the top 5 verses of all time on I'm Not You. And he's nowhere to be found on this list.
Well, where is he at now? When is the last time he did something?
He does Christian music now.
Oh, okay.
And he raps under No Malice. But Malice, when he was in Clips, I think you got to put Malice on this list, and I think you got to put Black Thought on this list.
I agree 100% with putting Black Thought on the list. I haven't listened to a lot of Malice and stuff. But Black Thought, without questioning Roots, yeah, he definitely needs to be on this list.
And anybody who's going to say that, oh, Black Thought, it's the Roots, it has to be the Roots. No, it doesn't. I mean, technically, Black Thought's not a solo artist, sure, but neither is Andre 3000. Andre 3000 is Outkast, and he's on the list. So
that's true. That's absolutely correct. Who else would you say?
To replace Lauryn Hill, like I said, either Lil Kim or Missy. I feel like Missy's mic skills are better for some reason. She just commands the mic a little bit better for me.
I agree with that. Missy definitely should be on the list. Lil Kim she could be on the list as well. If it came down, if they had to have one of them, either one of them would be fine.
And Tupac. I mean, there's a spot for Tupac on here somewhere.
Well, quite honestly, I think if Tupac was on this list, he'd need to be at damn near the top of the list. But you know, that's my opinion, because some people may disagree, say no. I did see there was some people leaving comments saying that no, Tupac don't belong on this list. They saying Ice Cube belong on the list. I'm thinking, that's interesting.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that should be on the list, but you know, when they narrow it down to only 10, that really limits. I mean, you really have to make sure every pick actually is meaningful on that list. How about your boy Kanye West? You think he should be on this list?
No, and actually at the beginning of the article, that's why they put that they were putting MCs instead of artists. So they mentioned that Kanye was an example of why they weren't putting like artists on there.
Oh, so okay, so do they have a grudge against Kanye for not having him on the list? No, well, specifically had to mention him instead of the others.
I think Kanye's done a lot for hip hop, but I don't think that when you listen to Kanye's music, you don't listen for the lyrics. You're listening for the production and a certain sound. Whereas like you pop on an artist like Biggie or Pac or Nas or Jay, and you're kind of listening for the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, well, I understand that. I'm trying to think of a few others.
A lot of people might say Joe Budden.
Yeah.
Because he's kind of lyrical, and a lot of people say that he's one of like the better MCs. I could see Budden maybe being on this list, but for me, I mean, he doesn't cut it. Royce the 5'9", though, I could definitely see him on this list. Yes,
Royce. Just to say something about that Budden comment. Yeah, depressed Joe Budden probably could get on the list. Don't put happy Budden on this list.
I swear to God, if you listen to Joe Budden when you're depressed or when you're going through something, you will contemplate life.
Yeah, this is true.
I would say Prodigy maybe from Mobb Deep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could see votes for him maybe.
Busta?
I don't know about Busta. Maybe Scarface though.
Yeah, Scarface. Yeah, he did a good job on his song with Game.
Yeah, I feel like Scarface has a lot of good. He's good on the mic too. Like his mic confidence, his MC skills are like really good. I mean, shit, Scarface has been doing this for almost as long as we've been alive.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we'll see.
That's pretty much all I got though. Like for names to throw out there, kind of.
So just to clarify, as you said, Kanye wouldn't be on the list. So is Drake another artist that would not cut it because he's an artist instead of a? Yeah,
Drake's more of an artist. You don't listen to Drake you listen to Drake for his lyrics, but at the same time, you're listening to Drake for his artistic value.
I got you. Yeah. Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah, so I think that was let's see if there was a few others. No, I mean I think you covered it all. I mean, you really can't it limits it when it's the MCs, because I think of a lot of people that should be on the list, but they would not qualify because
I did see on Twitter a lot of people had said MF Doom.
Oh yeah. Doom, yeah.
I'm not familiar with Doom's music. a whole lot, but I feel like a lot of people listen to him for his content, like his lyrics.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I've heard a few of his stuff in the past. I haven't listened to too much of it. Yeah, I mean, I think he could be on this list, but I can't confirm because I haven't listened to enough to say, yeah, he definitely should be on. But possibly, yeah, that's correct.
I know he's young, but it's kind of the same case as Kendrick. What about Earl?
Earl, you talking about Earl Sweatshirt?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? What is going on with him now? I mean, Odd Future is
He doesn't do shit and he doesn't go outside.
yeah, yeah. Odd Future is they're in disarray right now. So you know, I don't. I think if you told him something like that, yeah, we put you on the list for greatest rapper, that probably may go to his head. So I don't know if he should be on the list for that reason, but I mean, he's good. I like Tyler a little bit, a lot more than him, but you know, that's again, I don't know if Tyler will be qualified for this list, even though I think he could be, but.
I think Tyler's an incredible artist, but it goes back to the whole him being more of an artist than an actual MC.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Well, that's something to consider. I have to think over that Earl suggestion.
Said Budden, said Prodigy, said Malice, said Black Thought. So with all like these names that you wanted to add, where would you resequence everything though?
That's a good question. Man. All right, let me look at that list again. So, well, Tupac needs to be on the list. I know that as you said, Jay-Z belongs on there. I have no doubt that Jay-Z is probably in the top for most. But for some reason, I have respect for Jay-Z, as I have already said, but I don't, man, listen, I have respect for Jay-Z, but I just don't know what he can, because I keep thinking about, well, how is he going to contribute to rap now? I know they're doing the title thing, which is good for those that want to spend more money than they can spend on Spotify. But I mean, if I look at this list right now, I definitely, Biggie, I will probably keep it one. Number two, I'll probably put Tupac right there with him. And then number three, you have Jay-Z. Nas, I want to kind of put Nas before Eminem. So maybe I would have Nas at 4, Eminem at 5. Yeah, see, it's hard because I'm thinking specifically about what I want, personal preference, not really what it should be. Rakim 6. What else did I say? I mean, yeah, you go ahead because you probably have a better idea of your list. I have to continue to think over.
Well, one through three for me is Jay, Rakim, and Nas. That's 1 through 3 for me. I would put Biggie at 4. Just because of his body of work. I mean, he only has 2 albums, and I hate to fault him for that because I mean, the dude can't help it. But at the same time, like all these other artists, they have better bodies of work. But I feel like Biggie's 2 albums qualify him at 4. So Jay, Rakim, Nas, Biggie. I would put Eminem at 5. Just based off of his his previous works. Let's see. I'm trying to think of who else I would have after 5 because that's where it got tricky for me was after 5.
Black Thought is where will Black Thought be on this list?
Black Thought is right after Nas, so okay. Black Thought would be 6th for me. I would probably put Missy at 7, Malice at 8, and then. Who else did I still? Andre at 9, I think, is still good. And probably Tupac at 10.
Well, it's good that Pac made it to the list. I was starting to get worried there for a second.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's it's just one of those things. Like Tupac's music is cool, and you know, I'm not that big of a fan, but I still think that he's a top 10 artist, you know, rapper, like actual rapper of all time.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing, as Snoop said, you know, a lot of the artists that come out of the West Coast are inspired by stuff that he did. A lot of what these other guys did, so I could understand. That's why I would say he probably should be on the list. Um, I do believe Kendrick being on. I don't have a problem with Kendrick eventually getting on a list like this because he is obviously headed in that direction. I just agree that it's probably too soon for him to be on this list. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of any other rappers I would add to my list. I do think Black Thought should be on there again because made a lot of good points about that. And as I remember, a lot of songs I heard that he has been on. Yeah, you're right. He hasn't had a bad verse at all. Royce the 5'9", yeah, he definitely should be on the list. And I do want to have Andre 3000 on there only because I'm a fan, but yeah.
And you know what's funny is we mentioned Andre the entire time, but neither of us has said Big Boy.
Well, do you think the Big Boy should be on the list? That's the question. You know, they decided to splitting people up, so
I think I could see Big Boy. I could see them making a case for Big Boy. Actually, if anybody made a case for Big Boy to be on this list, I would not oppose it, just because I think Big Boy is just as great as Andre 3000.
Yeah, without question. They're better together as a team, but no, Big Boy had success as well. You guys did the first impression not too long ago for his project, so yeah, I can see that. I mean, I think that's pretty much it with the list because I can't think of anybody else that I would add. I think the people that we've both said that we would add, they will be a perfect fit on this list. Again, doesn't mean that I don't think that Lil Wayne and Kendrick and Lauryn Hill are bad artists. They're not. But for this particular list, and because they said greatest rappers of all time, well, you got to have some power picks for that. You can't just throw people in there. And wait a second, we're joined by Dom. How's it going, Dom?
Dab. Hey, y'all.
Well, you know, we've already discussed our picks for this list, but you should tell us what you think about the list.
Oh, yeah, the list. Well, one, hey, everybody. And two, I saw the list, and actually I had seen people talking about the list all day. And then I finally decided to look at it and was like, what is this? Half the list made sense, but then I had questions. Like, I think it's too soon for Kendrick Lamar to be on there, and this is coming from someone who really, really likes Kendrick Lamar and really TDE as a whole. So that's one. Two, it was odd to see Biggie on there as number one, but Tupac wasn't there. I expected Kanye to be on there. He's not. I don't think Lil Wayne is the best rapper alive, so I did not think he should have been there. I didn't consider Lauryn Hill a rapper, so I thought that was interesting that she was on there. Yeah, it was just like some of them made sense and some didn't. I think Ghostface is on that list too.
Yes, he is.
I like him, but I don't even know if I would put him as like the best member of Wu-Tang. So I don't even know if I would have had him on that list either. So yeah.
Well, perhaps Joe was stepped out for a second. I was going to ask him, what did he think? I mean, we do know now that it was based on MCs. That was why they made those picks. But yeah, I still disagree with most of the stuff that they picked. But it is what it is. Joe, you had any other comments?
No. I think that was it for me.
I missed it.
Yeah, you missed it. We went over every artist that was on the list, but I mean, you already said what you thought was wrong with the list, so you pretty much caught up real quick.
Who did you say that you would add to it though?
I think
Yeah.
Kanye should definitely be on that list.
Even as an MC?
Yeah.
Like, do you listen to Kanye for his lyrics? Like, you go to Kanye to listen to his lyrics?
Uh-oh.
I think there was like a time period where I'm thinking about like late registration and like earlier on in his career he told stories, and so it was a lot about like what was going on, and I think I was listening for lyrics because I felt like I could relate to it.
Mm-hmm.
I would think the same thing of like people hate Lupe, but like even back then I totally would have put him on some of the best rappers ever for like being an MC or lyrics. Not necessarily so much anymore, but I think there are. Like I think there's other artists like Migos, that I only listen to because it's party songs, or like Ray Shremmond because like it gets me hype. It's good workout music. I was listening to Kanye for lyrics, and even now some of the songs, like when I think about Yeezus, people don't like it, but some of the songs I like the most is the songs I think he had good lyrics on.
Jesus.
And I still don't know if I feel like I would put Method Man over Ghostface. Like the more that I think about it.
See, we said Raekwon over Ghostface.
Yeah, but that most recent album, you cannot. You gotta deduct. If you put him on this list, he better be like number 11 or something. Not in the top 10.
But you know what's funny is like we were talking about that, and I kind of wanted to say Method Man too, just because. I mean, that's the thing. Like the top 3 in Wu-Tang could easily all make this list.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. Nobody said GZA, and GZA's another lyrical guy from Wu-Tang.
That's true.
Yeah. This is true.
Who made this list? How did this list come about?
It was from Billboard, and it was kind of like what they wanted to do is like rank like the greatest actual rappers, so for like MC skill, so that's why they left off like Kanye's and Dr. Dre's and kind of like that.
Yeah.
So it was basically just kind of off of technical lyrical skill.
Interesting.
So who else would you add to the list? Aside from Kanye.
I also like if we're gonna talk about lyrics, Common. I would put him there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Like if I'm thinking about what they're thinking about, Kanye and Common, I'm thinking about top. Also, like the other people in Wu-Tang we've mentioned. I'm like desperately trying to think of somebody from the South or West Coast who could fit. Like maybe one day Crit could be on there. I still think it's too soon for that. But I feel like at one point he could fit on maybe like a top 20 list.
Well, it may not be too soon since Kendrick is already on the list. Right.
But if we're gonna do that, I mean, I know you hate him, but I almost feel like then you'd have to put a J. Cole on there, or an Isaiah Rashad, or I just feel like there's some like when we go there, you have to think about some other people who are comparable, and there's arguments for those folks too. I was happy to see Kendrick, but I thought when I'm thinking like over 3 decades of hip hop, maybe 4, that's the top 10. I feel like we were missing people. Like Tupac should definitely be on there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, we both agreed on that.
The one other thing too about the Lauryn Hill, Joe said Missy Elliott probably a better fit, or Little Kim.
Ooh. Yeah, I might say Lil Kim slightly over Missy Elliott, and I like Missy. But if we're talking lyrics, and you're gonna have Biggie on the list, you would have to have Lil Kim on there.
Well, Lil Kim was rapping Biggie lyrics anyway, so.
Basically.
That's true. Well, you know, Billboard did their best job. We're gonna have to make a list of our own and put it on the site. Obviously, so we can give people our authority, you know, our views on who should be on this list. But I think that pretty much wraps up the show. You guys have any final thoughts? How about you go first, Joe?
Nothing more for the list. JoeHovasMF.com, though. Make sure you check that out. Indie hip hop and other shenanigans.
Sounds good. How about you, Dom? Any final shout outs?
Yeah, in the words of the great Cam Newton, dab on them folks every day.
Oh, okay. So
you got to pipe it up and dab too.
Got to.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to the show. Obviously, we do have a lot more coming for you guys, you know, down the road. But we do appreciate you checking out the show. Please feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you think that these picks were great, who you would add to the list. And as always, if you would like to make a donation, you can do so by clicking on the I annotation in this video. Anything that you give will be appreciated. We will obviously put it back into the show.
Hold on, before we sign out, I just...
Well, what's that?
Jay Electronica tweeted, "Why is everyone so upset about the Billboard list? Upset over a top 10 list of rap greats written by these dudes." And it's a picture of like the two white guys, and it's their Twitter abbeys, and you know they're put together. So the one responded to put, "You'd be on my personal list of favorite lyricists, but it's hard to determine without an album."
Whoa.
And that is what you fucking get, Jay Electronica.
That is what he gets.
Wow.
I don't even know who Jay Electronica is anymore.
Well, don't worry, because he doesn't know either, so it's all good. Wow. Shots fired. Live.
The cannon!
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's too much. Well, yeah, that's it for this week's show. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good evening.